Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving deep into the wisdom of the ancients. We're talking about 12 Stoic strategies that can help you cultivate unshakable inner peace. The Stoics, from Seneca to Marcus Aurelius, understood that life is full of challenges. They also knew that true peace doesn't come from avoiding these difficulties but from changing how we approach them. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down these timeless principles in a way that you can use to find more resilience and tranquility in your own life, no matter what life throws your way. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more insightful content that gets you thinking. Let's get started. The first Stoic strategy we're exploring is a bit counterintuitive. It's the art of indifference. But before you click away, this isn't about becoming cold or emotionless. The Stoics weren't saying you shouldn't care about anything. Quite the opposite. What they understood is that much of our stress and anxiety comes from focusing on things that are outside of our control. We stress about the weather, about traffic, about what other people think of us, about things that happened in the past, or things that might happen in the future. Instead of wasting energy on these externals, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, our responses. It's about acknowledging that the world is a messy, unpredictable place. We can't control the cards we are dealt, but we can control how we play our hand. So how do we practice indifference? It starts with recognizing what is within our control and what is not. When we find ourselves getting worked up about things we can't change, we can gently remind ourselves to let go and focus on what truly matters, our own actions and our own responses. The Stoics had a powerful way of looking at challenges. They saw them as opportunities. This is what they called turning obstacles upside down. Think about a time you faced a setback or a failure. Your first instinct might have been frustration, anger, maybe even despair, but the Stoics would urge us to look closer. What if that obstacle was actually a chance for growth? What if that closed door was redirecting you to something even better? This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about recognizing that even in the midst of difficulty, there is the potential for learning, for growth, for becoming stronger. The obstacle is the way, as they say. This shift in perspective can be incredibly powerful. When we approach challenges with this mindset, we are less likely to be overwhelmed by them. Instead of fearing failure, we can embrace it as a stepping stone on the path to success. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the past or worry about the future. But the Stoics remind us that the only moment we truly have control over is the present. This is where life is happening, in this very breath. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. Dwelling on what could have been, or worrying about what might be, only robs us of the peace that's available to us right now. This doesn't mean we shouldn't plan for the future or learn from the past, but it does mean that we shouldn't let them consume our present moment. When you find your mind racing with anxiety or regret, gently guide it back to the present. Focus on your senses. What do you see, hear, feel, taste, smell? This simple act of grounding ourselves in the present can be incredibly powerful in calming our minds and finding a sense of peace. We live in a world obsessed with external validation, likes, followers, what others think of us. But the Stoics teach us that true peace comes from within. It comes from knowing our own worth, independent of the opinions of others. Seeking validation from others is like building our house on rented land. It's unstable, unreliable, and ultimately out of our control. Someone else can always take it away. What other people think of us is their business, not ours. Instead of chasing external approval, focus on living in alignment with your values. Do the right thing, even when no one is watching. This is where true freedom lies, in the freedom from the need to please everyone else. When we find our validation from within, we become unshakable. In the grand scheme of things, everything is temporary. Relationships change, possessions break, our bodies age. This can be a difficult truth to accept, but the Stoics believed that understanding the impermanence of all things can actually lead to a deeper sense of peace. When we cling too tightly to things, we set ourselves up for suffering. We become afraid of loss, afraid of change. But when we embrace impermanence, we can appreciate the beauty of the present moment without clinging to it. We can love more deeply, knowing that nothing lasts forever. This isn't about becoming detached or indifferent, but about living with open hands, ready to receive and ready to let go. It's about finding joy in the journey, knowing that everything is in a constant state of flux. We are constantly bombarded with messages telling us that we need more to be happy, more stuff, more money, more status. But the Stoics believe that true happiness comes not from having more, but from desiring less. This might seem counterintuitive, but think about it. When we are constantly chasing after something, we are never truly content. We are always striving, always wanting, always feeling like something is missing. This constant desire creates a sense of restlessness and dissatisfaction in our lives. The Stoics taught that by moderating our desires, by learning to be content with what we have, we can find a deep and lasting sense of peace. This doesn't mean we can't have goals or aspirations, but it does mean that our happiness shouldn't be contingent upon achieving them. The Stoics believed that the key to a good life, to a life of peace and fulfillment, was living in accordance with virtue. Virtue, for the Stoics, encompassed wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. It was about striving to be the best version of ourselves in every situation. This wasn't about being perfect or never making mistakes. It was about constantly trying to do the right thing, even when it was difficult. The Stoics believed that by focusing on virtue, by making it our guiding principle, we could find true and lasting happiness. When we live virtuously, we act with integrity. We treat others with respect. We face challenges with courage. And we find peace in knowing that we are living in accordance with our highest values. Anger is a powerful emotion. It can feel righteous, even intoxicating at times. But the Stoics warned against its destructive power. They saw anger not as a strength, but as a form of temporary insanity. Anger clouds our judgment, damages our relationships, and ultimately harms us more than it harms anyone else. It's a hot coal that we hold in our hands, burning us while we wait to throw it at someone else. So how do we deal with anger? The Stoics offered a number of techniques, from practicing patience to reframing our perceptions. They reminded us that the things that anger us often have more to do with us than with the person or situation that triggered us. By learning to control our anger, we gain mastery over ourselves and find greater peace. Self-control is like a muscle. The more we exercise it, the stronger it becomes. In a world of instant gratification, the Stoics remind us of the importance of delaying gratification, of resisting the temptation to give in to our every whim and impulse. This doesn't mean we need to live a life of deprivation. It's about making conscious choices, about choosing what is truly important over what is fleeting and ultimately unfulfilling. Whether it's resisting that extra slice of cake, sticking to our budget, or getting up early to work on our goals, self-control empowers us to live in alignment with our values. It allows us to make choices that serve our long-term well-being, even when they are difficult in the moment. This discipline, this ability to act from a place of reason rather than impulse, is essential for finding inner peace. We live in a culture of excess. Too much stuff, too much information, too many choices. This constant bombardment can be overwhelming, leaving us feeling stressed, distracted, and unfulfilled. The Stoics, however, advocated for a simpler way of life. They understood that true peace comes not from accumulating more, but from appreciating what we already have. Simplifying our lives, decluttering our homes, reducing our commitments, disconnecting from technology, can create a sense of spaciousness and tranquility. It allows us to focus on what truly matters, our relationships, our passions, our purpose. This doesn't mean we all need to live minimalist lifestyles, but it does mean being intentional about what we allow into our lives. Our minds are powerful tools, but they can also be our worst enemies. It's easy to get caught up in negative thought patterns, to ruminate on past mistakes, or to worry endlessly about the future. The Stoics recognized the dangers of what we might call overthinking. They understood that our thoughts have the power to create our reality. When we focus on negativity, we bring more negativity into our lives. So how do we break free from the thought spiral? The Stoics taught the importance of staying present, of focusing on what we can control, and of challenging our negative thoughts. When we find ourselves spiraling, we can ask ourselves, is this thought helpful? Is it true? Is it within my control? This simple act of questioning can help us to detach from unhelpful thoughts and find greater peace. One of the most powerful practices the Stoics gave us was the practice of meditation. Not to escape from reality, but to connect more deeply with it. Stoic meditation is a daily practice of reflection, of journaling, of consciously choosing our thoughts and actions. It's about taking a few minutes each day to connect with ourselves, to reflect on our values, and to cultivate a sense of inner peace. This doesn't need to be a complicated ritual. It could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths in the morning, journaling about your day, or reflecting on a piece of Stoic wisdom. The key is to make it a daily habit, a way to center ourselves amidst the chaos of life. By incorporating Stoic meditations into our lives, we can cultivate greater self-awareness, resilience, and inner peace. Thanks for watching. We hope these Stoic strategies provide you with practical tools to find more inner peace in your life. Remember, the path to tranquility is a journey, not a destination. There will be challenges along the way, but by implementing these timeless principles, you can face them with greater resilience and equanimity. Start by choosing just one of these strategies to focus on this week. See how it impacts your life. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this, and leave a comment below on which strategy resonated with you the most. We look forward to continuing this journey with you.